Hey guys, and welcome to the vlog. This one we're going to let Eric take the reins again because he's got something extra special planned. He went down to Houston for work, and he's down there for a couple weeks, and we're all a little bit under the weather here, off and on, so it's been hard this week to try and make some content for you guys. But Eric was like, you know what, I'm down in Houston, the Space Center isn't that far away, so I'm going to all go there. So anyway, great job, Eric. So if you like space and space centers and rockets and things like that, you're going to love this vlog because it's chock full of that stuff. All right, well, let's just jump on into it, and be sure to stick around to the end because there's a cool time lapse that he did from his hotel down there. So I highly recommend you stick around for that because, you know, it's pretty awesome. Next time we'll talk him into doing a hotel tour, maybe? I don't know. All right, guys, let's get to it. Roll that intro. Hey guys, back with another Eric vlog. Guess where I'm at today? We're at Houston Space Center. Check it out. So, let's go exploring. So there's the space shuttle. Not sure, oh, it's the Independence on the back, getting a piggyback ride home. Okay, we made it inside. Got a trolley tour ticket, so let's see if we're running today. On the tour, we're on the mission control. There's a blue and a red. We did the red tour, our blue tour. The red tour is it was astronaut training, which was like an hour long. I don't think we're gonna do that today, but well, this should be exciting. I'll keep you updated.
Orion, flagship of our nation's next-generation spacesuits. Astronauts will ride Orion far beyond low Earth orbit on deep space missions to asteroids and to Mars. The Orion Project Office is leading this historic development effort from here in Houston, making the Johnson Space Center responsible for the Orion crew module, crew training, and mock-up facilities, as well as mission control. This building also houses the Space Food Systems Laboratory, where food scientists develop and process food for spaceflight. Most food is made from scratch and then freeze-dried or thermostabilized. Since there is no cold storage for food on the station, these scientists have developed more than 100 foods that meet nutrition and palatability requirements and can be stored up to 3 years at room temperature. Celebrity chefs, including Emeril Lagasse and Rachel Ray, have worked with the Space Food Systems Laboratory to contribute recipes to spice up astronaut meals.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. How are you today?
Good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. My name is Sarah, and I'll be your host for this stop on the tour. First and foremost, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to the White Flight Control Room, also known as Mission Control for the 21st century. Now, we opened this room back in 1996 and controlled the last half of the space shuttle program out of here, starting with STS-77 and ending in 2011 with the final space shuttle flight, STS-135. After that, we closed the room down, gave it a much-needed update, and for about 6 months back in 2016, we were controlling the International Space Station out of this room, while its control room was getting the exact same update. Now, both screens to the left and right have live images of that ISS mission control room, which is in the same building on the same floor, just down the hallway from where we currently are. Now you might notice there are a lot of empty seats in that room today. That is because you have come to visit us on a Saturday, meaning it's the weekend, and believe it or not, astronauts actually do get the weekends off in space. No, but when you seriously think about it, these men and women are in space for at least 6 months. Some will stay longer, just depending on what their mission is. And that's an awfully long time to expect these people to work 7 days a week doing scientific research. So that's the real reason they get the weekends off. You know, on the weekdays when they're doing their research, they're doing anything ranging from microbiology to particle physics, all the way to some of the newer experiments we sent up on the International Space Station at the beginning of the year, dealing with fiber optics and with how the sun affects life here on Earth. We also do some medical research for a lot of different reasons. One of the reasons that we are able to do medical research in space is when you try to grow a cell here on Earth, oftentimes they grow imperfectly, they collapse on themselves too quickly for you to take data from them. But when you grow a cell in space, they last a lot longer, you can get a lot more information out of them, and you can make a lot more progress in medical research. So right now we're doing research on diabetes, on osteoporosis, on breast cancer, and recently we partnered with Michael J. Fox and his nonprofit organization that helps fund research into Parkinson's disease. So 4 big diseases right now being researched in space. Now the room that you are looking at while the astronauts are doing their research is typically full too. On the weekdays, not because they are helping the astronauts with their experiments in any capacity. This is just a classroom that trains people who one day want to work in mission control. It is a very difficult process to even get into this room, let alone the actual live mission control room. In order to get in here, it's invitation only. There is no application. People will typically work in one of the back rooms for about 5 to 10 years before they receive that invitation. And then it's a 6-month training course in here, where we basically run a simulation that looks exactly like the International Space Station. All of these computer displays will have data displays on them almost identical to what you would see in the real mission control room. The only difference is the data here on Earth is not in any way identical to the data that they're receiving from space. It's just a simulation, and at least one person in this room will see an error message on their screen. They'll have to fix that error as best they can without messing up anyone else's system. Now, this room in the future will be used for our upcoming Orion program. By a show of hands, how many people have heard of Orion? Now, Orion is our next generation exploration vehicle. It will take 4 astronauts into deep space further than we have ever explored before, to asteroids, the moons of Mars, and one day even Mars itself. Now, there's a lot of research we need to do before we're ready to send astronauts to Mars, because it's going to be a very dangerous mission, simply because right now with our current technology, it's going to be a very long mission. At the closest distance between the blue planet and the red planet, it takes around 6 to 9 months just to get there. And that is the safest time to travel between our planets. But that distance only occurs once every Martian year, which is a little less than 2 Earth years. So that means that the entire trip is going to be somewhere between 3 and 3.5 years long. That's a very long time to be in space, a very long time to be in microgravity. And as we learned from Scott Kelly's Year in Space, astronauts lose about 2% of bone density for every month they are in microgravity. Now that 2% is not accurate for the surface of Mars. That is just you traveling between the planets. Being on the surface of Mars, it'll be something less than that, probably closer to 1%, but still, that's a lot of bone density loss. So we're looking at ways to prevent that happening, and that's one reason why we're doing research into osteoporosis in space. Because what we've learned is that the early stages of osteoporosis are very similar to the type of bone deterioration the astronauts experience. So if we can figure out how to prevent osteoporosis, we should be able to prevent the astronauts' bone loss. But what would be even better is if we could somehow shorten the journey between our 2 planets. But there's no way for us to do that with our current technology. You can only fill an engine with so much fuel and make it burn so quickly until it's out of fuel and you're stuck in deep space. But there is a company based here in Texas that NASA is partnered with. They are called Ad Astra. They are developing what they call a plasma impulse engine, and it will be able to use electromagnets and convert a gas to a high-energy plasma, use that energy to propel the Orion spacecraft forward at a much faster rate than you could ever dream of a combustion engine achieving, taking that 9-month journey and cutting it down to only 39 days. Now there is one problem with that engine. It's a small problem in the grand scheme of things, but when I tell you what it is, you are all going to laugh at me for calling it small. And basically, I want you to think about your combustion engine, like what you have in the car. When you're using a car, there are two ways you can get the engine to stop. You can run out of fuel, and that will kill the engine. Or you can limit the amount of fuel that gets converted into energy. You can limit the fuel going to the engine, and that will also get it to stop. But the plasma engine does not work that way. As a matter of fact, we're not exactly how it works, meaning that we don't know how to get it to stop. Now, what that means is that you need to find a way to basically put a dampener on the engine to get it to finally come to a stop. Otherwise, we'd end up going past Mars into the asteroid belt, which is definitely not a good thing. Or even if we were to take that engine, burn it halfway to Mars, turn around, burn it in the opposite direction, instead of stopping at Mars, we'd come past Earth and to the sun, which is definitely not a good alternative. So that's what we're working on right now. That's why we're doing so much research. But what this means, all of the engine being worked on, medication being worked on, also developing the tools and techniques that will be used on the surface of Mars, the science experiments that will be happening as well as the habitats the astronauts will be living in. What all of this means is that Orion is kind of far into our future, about 2030 at the earliest, 2045 at the latest for having astronauts on the surface of Mars. What that means is that those young astronauts who will be walking on the red planet for the very first time right now are between the ages of around 6 and 14 years old. So look around, you might see some astronauts in the audience today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, that is almost all the time that I have for you today.
All right. Well, that was mission control. That was pretty cool, huh? We're off to Rocket Park now. Well, check that out. All right. We're at Rocket Park now. This is Little Joe 2, apparently. Well, I'll try to spin around and get a view. Pretty cool. Well, this has been fun. A little tram tour. I highly recommend it. If you do the audio tour, make sure you pick that up before you get on the tram. They have audio stations over there by like each mission or whatever has an audio thing. So, other than that, gonna go ahead and get back on the tram and head back to the museum and see what we can see over there. See you guys in a few. All right, that was exciting. Like they got a little gift shop. Let's go check that out. The gift station. Pretty cool. $29.95. Like that. Journey to Mars. Some astronaut ice cream. Vanilla ice cream sandwich. I don't know. Maybe. The little spacesuits are cute. Some mission patches. I may be nerdy. Some of these are kind of funny. Okay, looks like they got a food court in here. We're not going to go visit that, but they got a few different options. They got a little space simulator motion ride. Probably not going to do that. I'm just saying. They're definitely all about the Mission Mars stuff here, so this is kind of cool to even be thinking about going to Mars. Let's go see what they got in here. There's a visitor map of Mars. That's cute. Well, I guess this shows where the landers have landed. The North Pole. Yep. Look guys, we can touch Mars. Doing it. I'm touching Mars. Extreme climate. Oh. Don't like that low temperature. Okay, let's do it. Earth gravity. Oh, that's pretty decent. Mars gravity. Wow, that's a lot lighter. It's a multi-purpose exploration vehicle developed here at Johnson Space Center to travel on Mars. Okay, I guess I'm leaving Mars now. Heading back to Earth. This is the different pieces of the SLS rocket.
Yes. I got a picture of it.
Earth from above. Looks like there's some spacesuits back here. Let's go check these out. This is Michael Collins' spacesuit that he wore in the Gemini 10 spacecraft. It's an Apollo lunar spacesuit, more like what you would expect. This is more test flight. There's a blue pressure suit underneath the white layer, like you can see over here. Little pop-up science shop or science lab. That's kind of cool. Kids are doing some science experiments. This RX-5 hard suit kind of looks like something out of a science fiction movie. Yes. Uh-oh. Probably shouldn't trust me with the controls. You got it. It's a Robonaut. Well, that's what the sign says. So here's the crew quarters. Your sleeping bag. Toiletries. It's pretty tight. And here's the potty for space. There's rations. There's your M&Ms for mom. Although they're not peanut M&Ms. Carrying the satellite and the payload there. Looks like they got another gift shop. This one looks bigger than the other one, called Space Traders. Go check that out. Wow, this is considerably bigger. This is off the main entrance. Got the NASA meatball everywhere. I like the hat. Bigger patch wall. Looks like the patches are $6.99. Kind of a neat mug. That is $12.99. Curvis.
Oh yeah.
$20. I don't know about that. Space rocks, everybody. They have a Sheldon shirt. $24.99. These alien socks kind of rock. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for us here at the Houston Space Center, the Johnson Space Center. Let me know if you liked it by hitting a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down there. I picked up a little swag bag for the kiddos back home. I got some astronaut ice cream and some some socks for the kids. They're gonna love it. Hey, they approved. It was like alien socks. So anyway, I had fun. Definitely well worth my visit. Probably took I don't know, in real time, maybe a couple hours. I think I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here. Hope you like this video, and see you in the next one. Peace and love.